Hey guys, this is Sandra with Willow57. I'm not particularly working on a journal right now, so what I've decided to do for today's video, Wednesday with Willow, is bring you along while I, make a journal. This is just going to be a plain journal for my daughter. She is going to be going to Alaska for some work for a few months, and she's needing a journal to take with her that's not really big and bulky, and she had this book, and so she wants me to make this into just a writing journal, not a junk journal, just a plain page journal. But isn't that book beautiful? She's my green girl. She loves green. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I did go ahead and take out the gut it before I thought about making this video, so you missed that part, but you know what? It was this hard. If you've never seen anybody do this before, you just take your book, you pull back these pages like so, you take a X-Acto knife and you just cut down the sides very carefully, not to puncture your spine. Okay, so this was the book, and I'm going to keep these pages, of course, because they are beautiful. And so it's a fair trade. I get all those pages and she gets a new journal, right? So now here's the cover. Then I'm going to have to make me a spine enforcer and cut down the paper and then sew them in. It's not hard, nothing complicated, but thought I'd bring you along for the journey because, you know, why not? It's Wednesday. And this is what I'm doing on Wednesday. And when you're doing Wednesday with Willow, you get to do what I'm doing. And also, if anybody is interested in having a journal similar to this, of course I can't do that same cover because that one's hers and it's already gone, but I would gladly find another book similar and make one for you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down because my spine is 1 inch. And this one is over 1 inch. Okay. I'm probably going to be doing, ooh, that was bad. I'm probably going to be doing this over. In fact, you know what? I'm going to flip it over and start from this side now. Did not hold in place very well. I did not hold it in place very well. But blame or blame is great. That's better. Okay. So now I should have 1 inch spine there. Very good, very good. And throw that away. I know, all you people that are hoarders are freaking out because I throw. I'm just kidding. Okay. Where's my rulers? The girl does nothing without a ruler nearby. Well, maybe she does. Oh, you know what? I used it on another project the other day. Did it get put back in here? Oh, no. Well, here's this one. This red one shall work. All right, it's almost 6.5. It is 6.5. So I'm going to go probably 6 1/4 on everything. That's what I'm doing. So we got 1 inch, and you got to cut down the spine. See, I'm just using some, what is that called? Gosh, guys, whenever I do these videos, my brain just like is gone. I can't think of words. It's bad. I'm gonna start calling it video brain. I have video brain. It's a real thing. I'm sure I can document it. I can have documented proof of it because every time I make one of these videos, like words just gone. Chipboard is the word. Chipboard, this is chipboard. And as you can tell, I have lots of chipboard scraps. So I can't really make fun of any of you hoarding people, can I? Because look, I'm right there with you. And that is actually close enough that I can make that work. And what I'm doing is just, nope, that ain't long enough. What was I thinking? Wait a minute. Hold on. How did that happen? I don't know. Is this the piece that I was using? It is. Well, this video is starting off just great. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, you know, just follow along. I've got great tips. All right, I'm going to use these 3 for the spine. Okay, so that means I need to cut these 2 down to be the same size as the 6 1/4 that I have claimed that I'm going to use. Okay, gone, and gone. All right, so these 3. These can now be put back into my little hoarder's pile. See? Like so. And then these can move over there. Oh, guys, look what I found at the dollar store. At the Dollar Tree. I mean, if this doesn't make you happy, I cannot wait. My granddaughter's moving back to the area from Oregon in the next month or so. And I cannot wait to show her this. I just can't wait. When she gets big enough, she can have it. Or one like it. All right, so that's going to go in there like so to reinforce the spine. And I'm trying to think of whether I really want to do a hidden spine or hidden signatures and leave this like it is. She does want me to cover that up with something, but I can. That's not going to be an issue. Or do I want to just sew through the outside? Because I'm using green thread and she loves green. I don't know. I think the threads would be kind of pretty out there, don't you? Add a little something? Yeah, we're going to go that way. Because I can. But I need to glue all these together first. Look at me. Wasting time, trying to make a decision. Making a video. Gotta go fast. Think it through on your own time. Right? Right. Alright, so I'm going to glue these together. And maybe one day, I am seriously considering doing this with you guys. Each of my grandkids, well, I have 2 official grandchildren, will have, when they turn 18, a journal that I have made them, that I have written in, you know, letters to them throughout their lives. And I have finished my granddaughter's and did a woodland theme for hers, and it's just amazing journal. I've done a flip through. I'll try to remember to put it in the description link so you can see it. And my grandson, I'm going to kind of do a, well, hers was an enchanted forest, actually. His is going to be a woodland creatures, deer and bear, buffalo. I don't know if that's woodland, but you know what I'm saying. His is going to be wild animals. And so I need to get started on that. I need to make that journal so I can start writing in it. He's fixing to turn a year old already. So I need to start getting his journal together. And I kind of waited because with my granddaughters, I made her one. And then as she got older, her personality came out. And it did not match. The journal that I made her did not match her personality. So I waited until Riker was a little older so that I could see his personality come out and kind of figure out what I want his journal to be. But the funny thing is that from the day one, I knew what I wanted his journal to be, and it stayed true to him. So, you know, who knows? All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and measure where I want my holes on this before. Am I going to do that? No, because I wanted the outside. So never mind. I'm going to glue this down because I wanted the thread showing. If I wasn't going to do the thread showing, then I would have went ahead and punctured my holes. I would have sewed my signature straight into this before I glued it down. And then that would have been a hidden signatures, right? But since I want my strings showing on the outside, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down before I measure, because then I can poke the holes. But I could measure, and yeah, I'm going to do that because it's easier this way. Just, you know, follow along. Oh, you people. I tell you all the time, I don't know why I do these videos. Okay, because it's fun, that's why. All right, so I'm going to find an inch down from the top. I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch down because this is such a little book. Actually, I think I'm only going to do a 1/2 inch down. Yeah, that's better. And I'm going to do a line across. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and I'm going to do another line across. And then I'm going to find center of those, which is somewhere in this vicinity. You don't have to be exact because it don't. Right in there, I believe. I don't know, maybe there. I'm going to go there. Right. Yeah. That's close enough. Is it though? Go down a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to measure center for my, I'm going to do 3 signatures in this book. So I'm going to measure the center line here, and I'm just going to put a cross there, cross line there, and a cross line there. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch here, here, and here. And then I'm going to turn around and do it again at 1/4 inch. Here, here, and here. And that's where my holes will go for my signatures to be sewed in. Okay, and then while I'm doing this, I'm also going to go ahead and find me a random piece of paper, scrap paper as it was, and I'm going to cut that down to right there. Like so. And then I'm going to fold this in half. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to use this to mark the holes for my signature. So I really need to just figure out where the holes need to be here. And the first thing that I do is put a T on the top so that I know, okay, in case these aren't measured exactly, when I do them in my signatures, that way they're going to line up correctly with my spine. Look at me. I figured the word out. Video brain. What video brain? Right? Okay. So, it's cheese. All right. I'm going to go ahead and glue this in because I can. All over America. It's free. I'm free to be. Right? And I'm going to glue this bad boy down like so. Kind of center it well. Make sure that it doesn't inhibit the book in any way. Kind of press that in like that. And I could actually come, oh, guess I better leave it down for a minute, and cover this to make it match. Because actually I have this right here. So here's what I'm going to do, because I can, just to make it look pretty. Okay, I'm going to cut this down to make it not jagged on this edge. If you like jagged, you can leave your jagged. You know, I'm all about the gruff in most cases. Yep, but then I won't be able to see my measurements. You see what I just did there? Where there's a will, friends, there's a way. So don't worry about it. I'm going to figure it out. All right, so this is my hole punch book. It's a telephone book because who uses those? Not I. And then I've got to, hold on, I'm going to get my hole puncher. Ta-da! And then I just take my hole puncher and I punch a hole using all of my might on all of these T's on here. Every time this line's cross, I punch a hole. Yeah, and I do like to pull up on this to make sure that it's gone all the way through and it's a good hole. It makes it easier for me to find it later when I'm trying to sew in my signatures. So that's how I operate. All right, push in really good. And down again. So we're having rain here in Arkansas. I know that most of the United States is having another horrific snow and ice capade. And my prayers are with all of you. You stay safe and warm. My daughter, granddaughter, and son-in-law are in Oregon, and I haven't heard from them today, but I know they were expecting a lot of snow, so I'm hoping my granddaughter's enjoying that and having fun with it. All right, so now what I can do, since I didn't measure, is I can go ahead and glue this on there, okay, get it all in there nice and snug, and then turn it around and repunch through here, and it's going to repunch this. Gotcha? Gotcha good. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to get me my little glue book here, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Aleene's Tacky Glue. You can use a glue stick here, but I just want to make sure I've got a good seal on this. Although that Yoo-Hoo glue, I have become a fan of that stuff. I've seen several other junk journaler artists using it, so I finally bought me some here a couple months back, and I'm like, oh, that's why you all are obsessed with this. Get me a paintbrush, but it's covered in stuff, so let me get me a paper towel. Wipe that off a little bit, and then I smoosh it. Smooshy, smooshy, smooshy. Make sure the corners are gotten good smooshing. Right? Okay, then I'm gonna put that back where it belongs. I'm gonna take my little paper, my glue book out of the way, and I'm going to line it up kind of center-ish there, kind of center-ish there, and then I'm gonna push down in the middle first, in the middle, and then I'm gonna work my way out. Make sure it's all down in the middle. I'm going to use my little tool here Kind of press that into those grooves like that, just very gently. You don't want to rip anything. Don't want that laying down yet. You get in there good. And this is pressed down beautifully. And then you can go to the sides. Press those down. Smooth them out. Right? Beautiful? Good. Now this side, second verse, same as the first. Carefully. Don't want to tear it. But you want it to look like it belongs there, right? And then I think what I'm going to do also, just for good measure, I really love this. It's paper tape, medical tape. I just want to make sure this has got a good, it's not going to rip up on her. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this on there because I want to. It's just good precaution, I think. That she is going to be traveling with this book, so I don't want it falling apart on her. And this kind of tape just kind of blends into the look of the background eventually anyway. It isn't going to be like super noticeable or anything. That's another reason why I really like it. And it's good and secure. You can buy this anywhere. I get mine from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. A good size roll of it too. And just kind of push that down into those crevices as well. All right, now you just kind of fold that up, make sure everything's working good still. See, it's a much more solid now than it was. See, it's flat. It's not the curved spine, which is, you know, cute and all, but I don't know how to make a curved spine. Oh, the sunshine's coming out. Look, nice. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take my little tool, and I'm going to go back through these holes, same places that they already are, to poke all the way through those new layers that I've added. Okay, and it also just helps with these holes to make sure they're good. Owled out. Alled out? Alled out. I don't know. Owl? Owl? All? Oh. See how much fun you can have making these things, guys? It's just fun. Well, as long as you can laugh at yourself, because anybody who's been doing this very long knows you better be able to laugh at yourself if you're going to make junk journals, because the stuff that you save, I mean, the trash that I've been collecting, you find treasure now and stuff that you used to think would be like, who want that? I want it. That's who. Okay, there it is. Look. So now the only thing we have to do is make our signatures and sew them in. And this book is good. That's not complicated. All right, so I need to figure out the sizes. I've already pulled out some papers that I'm going to use for her little book. I'm kind of hoping that I can use half-C's, but I don't know. That's going to be a little too small, I think. Is it? Yeah, too small. All right, so we'll have to cut them down. That's all right. So I'm going to fold this paper in half, and I'm going to figure out how I did this once already. It was 6.5, right? I believe it was. Yes, it is. So I'm going to go 6 1/4 again on the paper as well. And that'll get it pretty close. Pretty close. Excuse me. I need a drink of my tea. Hot tea. Ah, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. So I'm going to take all of these papers. I'm going to go ahead and fold mine down. I'm going to do 3 signatures with 10 pages each. So it'll be 20 pages each, I think. I'm going to try that. It may be too bulky. That's 3. All right, I'm going to pause this because you really don't need to sit here and watch me fold paper. That's, you know, like watching paint dry. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try 10 pages each signature, so 30 pages. I may not do that many, and if I decide otherwise, when I come back, I'll let you know what I decide. Okay, I'm going to pause you. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. I decided to to fold them long ways instead of the other way because it's going to be closer to actually fitting in the book. There's just going to be a little bit I need to trim off, and that way what's cut off will be a bigger piece, right? So, and I also, 10's just going to be way too many to try to fit and her have any room at all in this book. So I did 3 signatures, or I'm going to do 3 signatures of 5. And I think that's going to do a pretty good hefty little book for her to be writing in. Okay, so now what I need to do is cut these all down to 6 1/4 this way. And then what I need to cut them down this way is going to be in the vicinity of 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut them down to 6 1/4 by 4. Okay, and again, I'm not going to do that on video because You guys know how to use a cutter, right? All right, hold on. Okay, well, it seems like only a brief second for you, but that was an eternity for me. Okay, yeah, I had all kinds of fun trying to get this cut down, and I ended up adding more pages because once I got those 5 in there, I didn't like how it looked. It was too flat, so I went ahead and now it's the 10 pages, and I really started thinking, you know, she journals a lot. She's my daughter, so she's gonna need a lot of pages. So I went ahead and added it in. I think it'll fit just fine like that. So what I'm going to do now is that I've got these all cut down to size and signatures together. I'm going to take that piece of paper that I made the template here with, that I put the T on the top, like that. And I'm going to take this and put it aside. Then I'm going to take one of my signatures and I'm just going to paper clip them together to hold them in place so that nothing is slipping around. Maybe if I can get some paper clips out of there, we'll see. See how jagged that edge looks? Yeah, my cutter. I need a new paper cutter. And then I tried doing a X-Acto knife, and it was just a disaster. I'm very thankful that was not on camera, because you guys would have been turning the page. Okay, now I need my hole puncher. Not my hole puncher. My or R, whatever it is. And if you have Cradle, what are those called? I don't remember. If you have one of those, you can use that, but I don't. I just open my book like so, kind of set the center of my signature into the center of my phone book. Then I take this, my template, and I line it up, and then I just poke the holes. And I poke them all the way through. And the next one, all the way through. Make sure it's lined up. And then the last one, all the way through. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that to the other 2 signatures. La-ti-da. And la-ti-da. Only take a second. Right. Make sure the center is really good. Into the center of your book. Line this up like so. And then punch. And then punch again. And then last but not least, punch again. Okay. And then last signature, do the same. Yeah, I'm really glad this is my daughter's journal. She's not going to mind those crazy looking edges. I would probably go through and tear a little bit off of each one if I was going to sell this journal, but she won't mind. Okay, line it up, and punch. And again. And 3rd time's the charm. Ta-da. Okay. So my next step, I can move this out of my way now. Okay. I can get out of the way. Then I take my journal cover and one of my signatures. I take a large needle with a big hole in it. I take my thread. I know there's some kind of tricky way to do this where it doesn't get all raveled, but never has worked for me. Okay, and I go 1, 2, 3 times the length of your journal. That's going to give you more than enough. Cut it. I keep the whole thing intact. Some people separate this out. I don't. I like it to be that thick. I often use waxed thread too, but I'm out at the moment. But embroidery floss works just fine. So I go through the center hole, and then I start on the right-hand side, just because the good thing about doing blank pages, you don't have to worry about upside down or not. That's good for me, especially on Video Brain. And then I stick my needle all the way through the middle hole on that furthest signature line. And then I hold that down. I come back to the top hole. I bring it through like that. And this gets fidgety, but it's not complicated. And then you come through there like that. Always making sure this is staying there. And then you go down to the bottom hole, into the bottom hole of your journal cover. Same line. Make sure you're lined up like that. And then you come back through the center again, center hole. try not to go through your thread that's already there. It's not the end of the world if that happens. It just makes it a lot easier if you don't, because you have to take it all apart, and it can be a pain. Am I right? Yeah. So it's trying to rip. What's going on here? Ah! Alright, I can fix that. I can fix that. Alright, so then you take one of your two and you put it on one side of this line, the thread, and then this one on this side, and you pull it taut. Again, you want to be careful not to rip it. What I can do here, because that needle came through kind of crooked on me, again, is use my magical paper tape. That will reinforce that to where it doesn't rip out, and it is writable on, so you can write right over that. Never know it's there. Okay, so taut, and then you tie it once, and then you tie it twice, and because I always like to do it third time for good measure, right? And then you can leave these dangles and hang stuff off of them, or you can just cut them off. And then you can take those off, and then to help direct your pages, to train them in directions that you want them to go, you get you a bone folder, and you kind of just press on that crease there to where they're laying flat now, flatter anyway. And so now I have my first signature in my book. See? And then I will do the second one. 1, 2, and 3. Cut it off. Get my signature. Get my thread into my needle. I'm not old. I can do this. Oof. I mean, it's got to be the world's largest eye, right? And I still can't get the thread to go through it. Get it wet then. Like that. There you go. And then again through the center. And then in the center, maybe 3 lines there. And you repeat. You go through one of the bottom or the top hole. It doesn't really matter. Same difference. In the middle, right there. You can see that. I'm sure this camera's like, what am I focusing on? All this movement. And then try not to rip it. Find your hole. Go through there. Down to the bottom. Like that. Into the bottom hole on your cover. Oh, that's not one to go through. Stiff one. But it shall. I shall make it. Okay, then back through to the center hole. Again, trying to avoid going through your thread. Like that. And then through the center. I hope you saw that. I don't even think I was anywhere close to in frame, was I? But you know at this point. And then back into here. Yeah. Okay. And then again, you straighten it all up, pull it taut. Taut? Is it taut? Tight, you know. But not too hard. And then 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And snip. All right. Good job. Good job, team. Okay, and then the same thing again, where you come and you push down on it like so with your bone folder. Find the other side of it. Do that again. You could do this several times. Go back and forth on it several times. That it just really helps set it up for, you know, what you need it for. All right, so then last but not least, you do this one more time. Take this. You take this. 1, 2, and 3. Needle. And you make it go in there whether it wants to or not, right? Like that. Like a boss. And there, and there. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry. I'm still in the show, aren't I? Trying to keep it all to myself. Then through the bottom or top, doesn't really matter. Again, pull that. Nope, not that tight. And then down through the other one. And then matching the hole on the cover. Ugh. Push it through. And then through the middle again. Not going through the thread. Like that. Ooh, and then through the middle of the signature, and on this side of that thread. So one's on each side. And you pull it tight, taut, oh, and triple knot. 1, 2, and go the other way for good measure. 3. And snip-a-roo. Okay. Then remove all of those back into where they go. And then you do this, and you do this, and this, and this, and this. Again, do that several times. And voila. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just made a journal. A journal whose pages are going to drive me. Look at that. Oh. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I tried. Mama tried. Alright. It is what that is at that point, like I said. I did even go through and kind of grunged it up. And that's something else you could do. Grunge it like this. Or with a ruler. Or I've seen Louise Heinzel. I think that's how you say her name. She used a hammer. So, I mean, she got serious about grunging up. But that's actually where I got the idea to grunge it was from her. Because that's pretty cool. And then you can put ink on the edges. Ink up the edges. Like, I'll show you. I think my dogs just broke in my house. Like that. And like that. And like that. Okay, just kind of give it a grungy. You know me, grungy. Grunge up some of those edges. Make it look like it's been around the world already. It's fixing to be. Well, not really. To Alaska. All right. I'm not going to put a closure on until I ask her if she wants one, because I have forgot to ask her. But there it is. Isn't that a cute little journal? I like it. And again, if any of you want a plain page journal, I have a couple of them for sale on my Etsy. You can look on there, bigger ones than this. Or if you want me to, I can find you a book cover and make you one. Gladly do that for you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.